may be seated. If you have your Bibles, turn me to Exodus chapter 17. Although this week is the 17th week of the Encounter 26 discipleship plan. It's Exodus 18 through 20, but I need to go back to 17 to build this week. And so because I've got so much today, I'm not going to give that big of a recap. The recap is going to be that we're in Exodus and God has drawn his people out of Egypt, out of bondage, to draw them in. God invites them out to invite them in. And God is still doing this to his people today. And in that very truth that God is drawing us out, I hope you today can hear him calling your name again, going, hey, I want more of you. Come on, more. Come. Here's what I know, that as God is still drawing and inviting his people to himself, there's never been a culture in the world that's ever felt more alone. The most dangerous lie that we can believe is that we can do this on our own, that we can handle this life on our own. We can lead our own life. We can follow God on our own. And if we're honest, lots of us have tried to do it our own, but what we then have in response is we've been carrying a lot of pressure alone. We've been making some hard decisions alone. We are fighting battles alone. This weight that we are carrying right now, most people can't even explain it. I have asked, if you had to explain what you're feeling right now, what it is, most people can't even put it into words because it's not this loud, obnoxious thing that I can point the squeaky wheel. It's just this weight that I hold on to. It holds on to me every day. This trying to lead myself gets heavy. This trying to figure this thing out on my own by myself is heavy. We carry responsibility, but let me ask you, if we are doing this thing on our own and we feel that weight, I'm going to ask you a question. When was the last time you stopped? When was the last time you stopped and said, am I doing what God designed me to do in my life? I'm going to have you answer this question again. When was the last time you stopped and asked God, am I doing the thing you called me and designed me to do? Am I doing that thing? We ask that question, but we also isolate, self-manage, and carry something we were never meant to carry. God called them out of Egypt, but not to watch them struggle alone. God called them out to be with them. God did not call you out to have you do this alone. He called you out so that you would walk with him. All right, so this is the truth that we're at this week. There's this outward shell, I'm good. All things are good. If you ever come to our Men's Monday, this is what we say. The person that you're trying to tell everybody, that person, yeah, I know he's okay. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm good. Liar. Your life is a dumpster fire and you put a smile on. You're carrying this weight and you walk in and everyone's like, hey, things are so good. Stop. The fake you's doing fine. I don't want to know about him. If you come to our Men's Monday, we go, check that guy at the door. I need you to get real. I need you to be honest and go, man, I'm carrying a weight I can't carry and I'm about to buckle under it. I feel this weight because it's in the truth of that. You've spoke a truth. What the lie is that you got this. This is where we pick up Exodus 17, Moses. Moses finds out, God's people find out they have a real enemy. There's a real enemy trying to destroy them. And in this battle, Moses finds himself standing on a hill with his hands lifted. And as his hands are lifted, God's people are winning. But eventually, what happens? Nature, brokenness, humanity. His arms get tired. And in chapter 17 of Exodus, they start to drop. And as they start falling, in the moment that they fall, they begin to lose. This is the moment that Moses realized something that I'm praying today that somebody in this room would realize. I cannot do this alone. The enemy will defeat me, defeat you, defeat my family, destroy my marriage and my children if I try to do this alone. It's in this very moment that Aaron and Hur come alongside of him and they raise his arms up. And his arms being held up, there comes victory. Not because Moses is strong, it was because Moses wasn't alone. Moses realized, God's called us to do something, but I can't do it without people around me. We isolate like a culture that I've never seen. If you missed that in chapter 17, I needed you to go back because it builds on chapter 18. Move into chapter 18. Okay, I can't do this on my own. I need help. I need those around me. Chapter 18. Moses is judging and working through all the people, and all these people need Moses. I need you. I need you. I need you. I need you to fix this. I need you to fix this. Can you fix this? And if there's anybody in this room who is a fixer, you'll feel the weight of someone calling your name, needing something, and you needing to go follow through with it. There's this weight that you go, I've got to do it. I have to do it. All of a sudden, the very Moses one chapter before that knew, I can't do this on my own, what's he doing? The same thing we do. We know that truth, and yet we go at it again on our own. If we're honest, we go, I know that truth, but then we isolate. We say, I'm strong, but we're exhausted. I'm fine, but I'm overwhelmed, and the enemy's destroying me. He's slowly killing me. Exodus 17 and Exodus 18 is where we slip into to go into what the next couple chapters are. God enters that mindset. This is the mindset of the world that we live in, and I hope that you are truly listening to the power of what this truth is. God, through Jethro, his father-in-law, he asked him a question. Why are you doing this alone? I hope that you hear the question in your own heart. Why are you doing this alone? There's three things in this chapter 17, 18, 19, 20 that God is teaching. If I could summarize them so that you could memorize them, it's you need each other. God saying you need each other. God saying you need me and you need my way. We'll get to the Ten Commandments in a minute. That's his way. You need me. That's chapter 19. 17 and 18 is you need people around you. But in this place, freedom that he's calling them to. This freedom's not just so that you can walk out of Egypt in bondage, it's so that you can learn to walk with God daily. What are you doing with your freedom? Are you taking the freedom that God's called you to and trying to figure it out on your own? Are you taking your freedom and going, I'll give ultimatums and I'll give the stipulations of this is how this is going to be done, or I quit. I quit my job. I quit this thing. It's up to me. Here's what I know. God's saying that freedom I called you to was not for you to figure it out. It's for you to walk with me and I'll show you the way. Exodus 18, when Moses, his father-in-law, Jethro sees him, he sees him leading alone, judging alone, carrying alone. Why do you sit alone? If this is you, if you feel like the weight of the world is on you, I'm going to ask the question, do you believe that isolation will crush the calling that God's called you to be as a husband, as a mother, as a wife, as a father? Isolation and trying to figure it out on your own will crush the calling that God has called you to. Look, this is how we were created, was to not do this alone. Go all the way back to the beginning of time with Adam and Eve. You go back to Genesis, Adam was created. It's perfect. By the way, man has not fallen when God says this. And God says it's not good that man what? Be alone. He's not even done anything wrong yet. There's a perfect world. And even in the perfect world, God goes, I know what you need. Tim Keller, one of my favorite preachers, he said it like this: Adam was not lonely because he was imperfect, but because he was perfect. The ache for friendship is the only longing that is not because of sin. This is the one ache that is part of his perfection. God made us to ache in such a way that we cannot enjoy even paradise without friends, without someone beside us. God made us in such a way that we can't enjoy the joys of life without someone with us. It's a witness. Human friends, Adam in his perfect truth of every quiet hour for 24 hours had this dry moment of I have a desire to be with someone. I want you to know that thing that causes us to want to push into the presence of God and push into the presence of other people. That desire to be loved by those around you, that desire is by God. It brings you into relationship. There is then, if you know that's the truth of God, then you need to know the enemy of God is isolation to that. If you believe that that's the truth of God, then isolation is the culture that we're living in right now. It should be the lie that's going, bonk, bonk, bonk. It should be the very thing. This culture of isolation is causing us to believe a lie that we are so known now more than ever. I know families across the world. I follow that family. I see this family. And there's never been a culture that's been more lonely. This culture that the enemy has blinded us with is making us to feel we're connected, and we are so more disconnected than any culture. We have the cell phones. We have social media. We have constant contact, but yet we feel alone. God designed us to do life with people. Look, 2 chapters in a row. Exodus 17, Exodus 18. You need the gift of others. I just want to say something about the church. There is this thing that happens when we move into community in church. I can hear stories. Your story is no different than their story. It's the same story. Church hurt. I got hurt at church. Great, good. If you dig into the story, you'll find out that people are stupid. You'll find out that people are rude and that people are sinful. That's what you'll find out. But rarely will you see someone go, God failed me. God didn't. You want to know why I'm saying this? It's because somehow we have made this drawing into community, and when you draw in, we're looking this way when it's this way. This is the gift that God gave us this way. These people are gifts from God, but it's not the gift. He's the gift. Don't get it twisted. We're all broken people, and God keeps using broken people to draw us back to the perfect one. All right. There's this isolation. And then Exodus 19. This is today. If this is you that you felt like isolation, you felt alone, you feel the weight, I need you to know the next part. Isolation, chapter 17. Isolation, chapter 19. And then chapter 18. Then chapter 19. Invitation, come here. Come to my presence. It is so important that you get that and why it's brought together. Because Exodus 19, verse 4, go with me there. This is what he says. God's pulling you from isolation and into relationship. He says, I brought you to myself. Exodus 19, verse 4. I brought you to myself. Exodus 19 is saying, I invite you to come to me. I invite you to not try to do this marriage alone. I've invited you to not try to do this life alone, to not do this parenting alone. How many dads this week go, thank God I don't have to do this alone right now, right? There's this truth where you go, oh God, thank you for the gift of the oneness of someone with me. Exodus 19, look at the truth. He calls them, verse 16. Then it came to pass on the third day in the morning that God has called them, but then there was thundering and lightning, a thick cloud on the mountain. And the sound of the trumpet, it was very loud. And all the people who were in the camp trembled. All right, stop. We're going to come back to that in a second. I want you to see this picture where God goes, come here. I want to meet with you. And all of a sudden, you see the mountain shaking. I want you to get the visual. But, Pastor Josh, you made it out like God's like, come here. Oh, come here. I just want to be with you. And all of a sudden, God's like, you're like, nope, no thanks. I want you to see this. I want you to get into this. We're going to get into the why of what that is. But here's what I know. God has called every one of you in community, and if you're in community, husbands, your job is to be the mediator between praying for your wife and praying for your children. Moms, your job is to be the mediator, praying for your husband, praying for your kids. Kids, your job is to honor your parents. We'll get to that in a minute. But there is this truth where he's called us to go, hey, in this togetherness, I've called you to be a mediator. And many of you find yourself like an administrator. How many mamas feel like they're just administrators? How many daddies just feel like they're in administrative mode? That I'm just trying to I'm just trying to keep, listen, and I just want to get some pressure off some parents. A lot of the moms aren't here, so I'll say it, a lot of the dads too. There is a season that you're just chucking chicken nuggets in the back trying to keep them alive. I know that season. You're just trying to keep them alive. And if nobody got hurt, nobody died, you go, success! This is one of those weekends, y'all. I got it. But can I say something? That's not your only job. Your job is mediator, not facilitator. And many times we spend more time facilitator than our one main job is mediator. If we're called to be with someone, it's for a purpose. It's to keep bringing people to God. And in this story, you're going to see the mediator need and what that looks like. But if you miss that your role and your purpose is here, you're going to miss it. Jump back into the story. There is this thick cloud on the mountain. There's a sound of the trumpet that was so loud that the people were in the camp and they trembled. And Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet with God. And they stood at the foot of the mountain. Now Mount Sinai was completely filled in smoke because God had descended upon the fire. Its smoke ascended like a furnace. And the whole mountain quaked greatly. And the blast of the trumpet sounded long and became louder and louder. Moses spoke, and God answered by a voice. And the Lord came down upon the Mount Sinai on top of the mountain. And the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. I want you to see something. God goes, Moses, I want to speak to the one that feels isolated. I want to speak to the one that feels like you're carrying the weight of the world. I know that it seems like it's just like, I can't get to God. I can't get to God. He goes, I'm going to invite you, Moses. Come here. Now the why. So why didn't he make it so pleasing to everyone that he's like, I'm God. This world that I'm going to give you, it's cotton candies and Cadillacs. Come on. That ain't what he did. He made them go, no thanks. Why? Why was it unapproachable? Why the thunder? Why the lightning? Why the smoke, the fire? Why the boundaries that you can't come any further? If you kept reading, if you come any further, an archery guy with a bow and arrow will shoot you and kill you. Why the boundaries? Why are you being this way? God's invitation is, I want you to know me. And the first way that he does it, he says, I'm going to reveal to you the holiness of God. God is not casual, he is holy. The mountain showed them that God is near, but God is not common. I'm going to say something. This is leading into the Ten Commandments. There is this place that God's going to call them, invite them to know him and know his way, the commandments. And we today have made God so common. We've made not just his name, we've made what he stands for so common. We have lost the holiness of who he is and the weight of what that is. I need it to settle. You've been going to church your whole life. I know. You've been doing this church thing your whole life and it's just stop. If you hear nothing from me today except this one thing, if you keep making him common, he will reveal to you one day how holy he is. You will not be able to enter a holy God, just this common, the dumbest things that I'm hearing today that people are preaching from the pulpit. That whole, it moved from Jesus is my homeboy, it's moved from that to Sky Daddy. You're my Sky Daddy, bro. Stop that. He is God. What are we doing? Do not keep making this thing common that we do on Sunday, coming into his presence. May we make this what it was meant to be. He goes, I'm holy. And you'll see it on the mountain. It showed you don't just get to come into my presence. You're going to need a mediator. You can't just walk in. You're going to need a Moses. You're going to need a mediator, an access between me and God. You're not holy. He is. It's going to take someone that he's going to sanctify and make him holy so that there can be a mediator so you can know him. By the way, Jesus is the greater Moses. That the veil that was torn when Jesus died and rose, the veil that was torn allowed us to now have intercession, that we can walk in and intercede for our family right in. He says, come boldly to the throne. Now we get to do that. But to know without Jesus, we can't do that. In this time that we're teaching in Exodus, without Moses, it's just a pointing to you need a mediator, who is Jesus. He's not casual. He's not common. You'll need a mediator. And then he did all of this. By the way, have you ever been around lightning where it pops and you're like, good Lord? You ever been in that like, and it thunders so much that like the hair stands up and you're like, whoa. Could you imagine in this moment that they're going, oh, it's just electrifying. And they go, he's holy. He's awesome. Why did he do that? Bible says they feared. There is this thing that is common in our day today, and he's not feared today. The better way that I like to use the word fear is awe, the awe of God. That we are missing the awe of God, and he's showing them, I'm unapproachable. I'm not just someone that you get to walk up casually. I am God, and I'll be treated as such. I want everybody to look at me real fast. If we were to fast forward into the story of David. David knew God just like you know God, I believe. I know the stories of God. He's holy. And you could start listing the attributes of God. But everybody look at me real quick. David found himself looking at naked women, sleeping with someone who wasn't his, taking something that wasn't his, and killing someone that was not his. Listen to me. Not because he fell out of love with God and he didn't know his attributes. It's because he didn't fear him anymore. It was the lack of fear that caused David to walk in what he walked in. I need you to know this. In this season that you and I are in, this season is not a time to become casual and to lose the awe of God. The awe of God keeps you from going, no. So much that when he repented, what was it? I've done this great and wicked thing against you. I'm now fearful because it came against your name. Not because I fell out of love or my feelings weren't there. No, it was because I did this against you. All of this was so that they would know God as holy. They'd have the awe of God. They would see they need a mediator. And he's going, and if you know me as this holy God, you'll know me, you'll love me, you'll serve me. And this is what we're going to get to really soon, and you'll find out. Deuteronomy, Leviticus. I know some of y'all are like, Leviticus, I can't wait. Just can't wait. Do you know, I can summarize Leviticus right now. God writes Leviticus, and he goes, I'm holy. Keep reading. I have to wear what to come in your presence? I have to do what to be in your presence? I have to stop. I'm holy. A whole book is written to, don't you ever forget how holy I am. I'm going to say something. I can't wait to get Leviticus because there's a generation that needs to know the holiness of God again. We have got to return to the awe of God again. I could go right into the Ten Commandments right now. We could go right into what we should and should not do. Stop that. It'll mean nothing if you don't take these and hear them and they fall in the awe of God in your life. That they fall in the holiness of who he is in your life. If you hear the Ten Commandments and you go, cool, don't sleep with my neighbors, got it, cool. That's the dumbest thing that you take that in a sinful, broken life that has no fear of God. We find out that David will take a 10 Commandments. If you were to break down take all the 10 Commandments and all that David did, he broke all 10 Commandments into one thing. And you know what it was? Not because he didn't love God, not because he didn't know Bible verses, not because he didn't attend church. It's because he lost the fear and the awe of God. And the weight of what God spoke to him was gone. And so he casually walked into sin, and he casually killed somebody, and he casually tried to cover it up. This truth that we are listening to today is this. I pray that a church wakes up to the fear and the awe of God. There was a guy named Tommy Tenney. He wrote a book called God Chasers. I'll never forget it. I was in college at the time, and I was at a place of my life longing to chase God. He wrote a book, and he knew there was this casual. We need the awe of God. And I'll never forget. He kept saying, God, if you'll just reveal to them how holy you are. God, if you'll just reveal how holy you are. I found myself praying the Tommy Tenney prayer. That's why I'm standing over here right now in a second. Tommy Tenney went into fasting and praying. He goes, God, if you just show them. And one night, as he was about to come up to this altar to preach, a bolt of lightning came through the church. Boom, and it split the church. By the way, there's hundreds and hundreds of people that witness this. It's written out. It's very clear. A bolt of lightning, boom, in the early 90s, and it cracked the altar. And in the moment, people ran, it cracked the pulpit. They ran to the altar. Tommy Tenney's like, I didn't even say a word. I never said a word. Because when his presence was there, they were like, he's here. I have so disrespected him. Here's what we know. There will be honor to this holy and all name. So much that he says, either you bow now or you'll bow one day, but every knee will bow and every tongue will confess he is holy. I don't want to move into the 10 Commandments until you get this truth. There is this I've drawn you out to draw you in, not so that you could do it alone, not so I could sit back and like, look at him, the weight of the world's going to crush him, look at him. No, so that I could walk with you and reveal to you my holiness. I would take you through hard times. Last week, I'll bring you to a place where there's a rock and a hard place, and only I can deliver you out of this through the Red Sea. I'll lead you there. I'll deliver you there. And you'll go, oh, God, I can't wait. Come on. And what do we find ourselves doing? He's inviting, and we're going, it's cool. I'll do it on my own. There's never been a time that we're pushing back from the holiness and the awe of the invitation of God. If the President of the United States gave you an invitation, you like him or not, I don't care. And there was this invitation to meet the president. You go, it's the position that I honor, right? That you wouldn't take that lightly. An invitation to be in the presence of someone so great. Who's the person you think is so great? You get an invitation, you go, yeah, I mean, you know what? I kind of didn't sleep good. Might not make it. An invitation to go, come here. Every week I want to reveal to you with a group of people, I'm holy. I'm holy. No way we take that invitation lightly. No way that we take it. I don't know how many more times that we'll get to meet like this. I don't know how many times that we'll get to walk into His presence and this holiness of worshiping Him like this. There is this beauty of what this is in chapter 19. I know it's the Ten Commandments in chapter 20. I know, but chapter 19 gets so worked over and just glossed over that we miss 19 is everything. I'm going to tell you some things, but if you don't know who told you, you won't walk in them. If you don't know who I am. The first 3 commandments, He's trying to say who He is. He gives all the commandments because He's wanting to say, I love you. I want to show you how much I love you. He says in Exodus 20, verse 2, He starts the 10 commandments with, I am the Lord your God. I'm starting out before I even say one commandment. I want you to know me. Before I have you do anything, would you know who I am? Because I know that in the knowing, it will produce the doing. Salvation has already come and they haven't done anything. It's not on your doing. It's on you know who saved you and you'll live your life living out Jesus. All right. He's saying, I love you. I'm going to give you these 10 commandments because I'm going to show you that sin destroys life. I'm a life giver. Sin brings death. I'm going to show you the 10 commandments because I'm going to show you how to live as my people. Think about this. Has anybody thought about this? Chapter 19 is so important. They don't know who He is. There's been a whole generation, they're slaves. Look at me. All they know is bondage. They don't even know how to walk free. They don't know how to do life without messing everything up. They don't know how to do life without destroying everything. All they know by their name, and they're doing it alone, is bondage. Think about it. They're slaves. They don't know how to do life, and God goes, come here, I'm going to show you how to do life. And you'll do life in knowing me. Everybody, the gospel starts right here. What have you done except bring pain and destruction into this relationship? What have you done besides brokenness of sin that you bring in that makes him go, ooh, I want her on my team. Ooh, I want him on my team. Nothing. It started with, I love you. Can I show myself to you? Can I reveal myself to you? Exodus chapter 20, verse 2, He says it. I am the Lord your God. I want to reveal you something. He says, I'm the one who rescued you out of the land of Egypt, out of the place of slavery. All you know is how to be a slave and in bondage. Can I show you how to walk free? That's chapter 20. I want to walk with you. All right. Real fast. I know I said this earlier. When I have taught the 10 Commandments, preached them in a series, one time they were 12 weeks, and then I cut it down to 10 weeks. And then we have today 15 minutes. So I'm going to do a little bit of reading. I'm not going to take time to jump down with every one of them. I'm going to do some reading for a few minutes because what I want you to do is hear what God is saying and why He's saying it. I'm holy. You're bondage and you're slave, and that's all you know. Can I tell you why you should and should not live like this? First Commandment 1, chapter 3. You shall have no other gods before me. Genesis chapter 20, verse 3. God is saying, put me first as the ultimate. I will have no rivals in your heart. Whatever you put first will rule and shape everything else in your life. And what we worship, what we make important, not just you, but your whole family then follows it. We're all worshiping something. And oftentimes it's something that we created in a world that we created. I love this life I've created. I love this car. I love this house. I love this thing. If God is not first, everything else and everything that the enemy brings in is going to try to control you. And he goes, I'm God. There's only one thing that should control your life. Whatever you rely on the most, you'll then worship the most. You shall make no other idols. Exodus chapter 20, verse 4. It's the second commandment. You must not make for yourself an idol of any kind or image, anything in the heavens or the earth and the sea. You must not bow down to them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, I am jealous God. I'm a God who will not tolerate your affection for any other gods. I lay the sins of the parents upon their children, and down to their entire family will be affected. Even the children from the third and the fourth generation of those who reject me. But I lavish unfailing love for the thousands of generations on who love me and obey my commandments. This is really important. What you worship, so will your children. What you make everything, they'll make everything. And I'm just going to say something. In today's world, the numbers of people committing their life to following God through the community of church, of togetherness. There's so many people going, we can do this alone. I don't have to go to church to be saved. I don't have to go home to be married. But it sure helps. It helps with a relationship. There's this thing where it goes, it will help me and my whole family and my children grow into what the truth of what this love is. He goes, make this important. Make me important. Do not reduce God to something that you can control. We like to manage our life, not submit our life. We don't just worship statues today, we idolize them. You know, like success. How many people have thought more about your success and your comfort financially than you have the success of walking in God? Do you spend more hours on how can I do this than you do this? He says that's an idol that you've made comfort, success. You've idolized that. You didn't build a little trinket and go, No, but you've idolized it. How? By you spending more time making it the main thing of your life. We don't create idols to replace God. We create idols so that we think we can control Him. Idols don't remove God. They just replace Him to something easier. That's why you hear people go, well, the version of God that I serve, the God that I know, it's summarized down to you. No, it's summarized to this is who God is. It's a very dangerous thing to allow culture and preference to shape who your God is, and it's happening every day of your life if you're not careful. Culture and preference is shaping it. So much that someone will go, I didn't like that song. It had nothing to do with you. They didn't do that well. It wasn't to you, it's to God. It's shaping our thoughts of what we even think about what church is. I don't like the way that's handled. I don't like this. Stop. At some point, push back this culture and this opinion of this world and push into the presence of God. Third commandment. Shall not take the Lord's name in vain. It's really important that you get this. Don't misuse His name. God said, don't treat my name casual, but if you hear His name and you think speech, you're going to miss it. Because His name represents His character. It represents His authority, His reputation of who He is. You don't just carry His name when you speak it in words. You carry His name in how you live it. All right, so a few minutes ago I said the first 3 commandments, and I want you to get this. I know that many of you know that the first 4 commandments are us and God, and the last 6 are us and people, right? Yes, all to that. But until studying in the last couple of weeks, I never knew that the first 3 are so much into one. And all 3 of them are on this one thing. I am the Lord your God. First words he said. I want to reveal me to who you are. I want to reveal to you someone that is God and who is not. Let me begin. You've been in bondage. You've been a slave. Let me begin with who I am. First three go, this is my name, and this is how I'll be treated. He says, don't take the Lord's name in vain. But I want you to hear the word take, and I don't want you to think take and you put it in your mouth and you carry it around. The word is carry, that you carry it around. You carry this truth. God's name is really important, and it's why he goes throughout this whole Bible revealing it. From cover to cover, he goes, I'm God. Can I tell you who I am? I want you to know me. I'm God. The whole story, it's encapsulated in this one thing. And so then if that's what God's plan is for us to know him through his word, to know his name and what it represents, can I tell you there must be an enemy who's going to begin to try to destroy that? Number one, Adam and Eve. First thing, what's the first thing he says? The first sin happens because why? We can make your name great. You can be like a God. This is all about his name. You were to live your life about his name, in the light of his name. We can make this about you. What happened? First sin. It's about you and your name. We don't have time to go through all of it. We could skip all the way to Tower of Babel where they said, we'll make a great tower and make a great name for ourselves, which then goes into Genesis that leads into Abraham where he says, Abraham, I'm going to take your name and make my name great. And from generation to generation to generation, those who know my name, I'll make great and they'll walk in this blessing. Why? Because of you, Abraham? No, because of my name. We're just in Genesis and he jumps right into this. Your name's done nothing but slavery. We went through Genesis. I hope you're a part of it. There wasn't one story that you didn't walk away going, dadgum, people are terrible. Even the good people. Abraham tried to pimp out his wife, Sarah, and then lied to stop it. There wasn't one you found yet that their name was great. God goes, I know. I'll take broken people and I'll put my name in it and they'll make my name great. If they make my name great, they'll walk in a covenant. It's not about you saying GD. I don't want you to say that. It's way more about you taking a name and putting it in your mouth and it coming out. It's everything about you taking it and living it out. For time's sake, can't go through it all. 1 Samuel 17:45. When David was fighting Goliath, he said, you come to me with sword and sling, I come to you in the name of the Lord. Proverbs 18:10, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous run in. Proverbs 20, it says, many trust in chariots and horses, but I remember to trust in the name of the Lord. Go all the way into the New Testament where Jesus is teaching. And he goes, hey guys, if you're going to follow me, Luke chapter 21:17 says, they're going to hate you. The world's going to hate you for my name's sake, for God's name's sake. Mark 11:19, coming into Jerusalem, Hosanna. We just sang it. Hosanna, Hosanna. They're speaking, blessed of he who comes in the name of the Lord. We know, Jesus, that you've come in God's name to reveal who? God to us. So much that when Jesus left, he said, now I leave this to you. Matthew chapter 28, verse 19. Now go therefore, making disciples and baptizing them in the name of me. This whole thing has been about my name. All of this has been about my name. So much that in Acts chapter 4, verse 12, how will you be saved? There is no salvation in heaven and earth under anything but the name of Jesus. You'll be saved. The two greatest prayers we've ever prayed. Psalm 23, you restore my soul. You lead me in the paths of righteousness for your name's sake. The greatest prayer. Jesus said, and when you pray, pray like this. Our Father, who's in heaven, hallowed be your name. This is all about your name. Everything is your name, and may I take my life and make it about your name, and somebody made it about not saying GD. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And by the way, when people say that, they go, sorry, preacher. I go, don't apologize to me. He's the one you need to apologize to. This has been about his name. The whole Bible was going, come here, you don't know me. I want you to know me. And in my name, we sang it, Jehovah Jireh, I'm your provider. That's who I am. I am the Prince of Peace. And you keep trying to make a name about yourself. You keep going, my life just ain't good. I'm carrying it all on my own. And I just don't know. The weight of the world is on my shoulders. Stop it. This is not how he called you to live. He didn't call us out of bondage in Egypt so that he can go, look at them, try to figure it out on their own. So that you would come through hard things and you'd know my name. This would be about you knowing me and my name. And the first 3 commandments, he goes, my name is holy and it will be holy. And because of that, that's why we want to live holy, not so he loves us more. We will walk in this because we know this is the truth. And then he moves into the 4th commandment. God doesn't just say, if you know that I'm holy, he moves in the 4th commandment and he says, stop. If you remember my name, then rest in my name. The 4th commandment is remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. I don't have time to read the whole thing, but he's saying, everybody stop. If you know who my name is, then stop one day a week. Give me one day a week and let me prove that your efforts are nothing compared to me doing the work. Rest in your weakness, but rest in my strength. By the way, who got married? Who got married to go, hey, I want you to have a front row seat. I'm going to work 7 days a week, and I'm going to show you how hard I work. I married you so that all I can do is work. And you go, boy, he's a hard worker. And you go, I love him because he works so hard. I love her. Who did that? Did you not marry someone? Did they not take your name and you become one? Why? So that you could be with them. Good times and in bad times. So why? So you take my name and we could be together. Why do we marry someone and then make it valuable? Once a week, we're going to have date night. We're going to make sure that we have a date night. By the way, if you stop date night, you probably stop dating your spouse, and they're probably not your boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. You probably might find yourself more into administration role with each other. Which one of us got married and go, I want to make this important? I believe it's important. So important, I'm going to make one day, and it's going to be our day. And then you go, and you have a date, and you're on the phone the whole time. Working the whole time on this date. And you're on the phone, and then you're like, oh, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. That's what my fear is that's what the church looks like today. Oh, I believe we should take his name holy. We should make a day and make it about him. And yet, we're doing like this. Oh, I love you. I love you. I got so much to do. I'm busy. I could spend a month preaching on this. You want to know why? Because this is where I'm failing, where God is calling me to more. I literally have to just skip this. This one, if you believe he's holy, then you'll believe it with your actions. Make my name holy, then make a day to rest in my name. So then he gives a structure, and I'm going to end right here. Luke can come around. He gives a structure. The first 4 commandments, love God. The last 6 commandments, live God. Love God, live God. You'll see the structure. Honor your father and your mother. He gives them instructions to do this. Why? This structure is how we should then live every relationship of our life. That God is Father. Ephesians 5 says, honor your husband and wife like you honor God. Every relationship is a structure that points back to honoring a holy God. And how you treat them is how you're treating me. That the structure is that even how you live your life. I got so much to do. Yeah, but you'll remember that God is in charge and you're not. Sabbath. Keep it whole. Okay, great. Honor your father and mother. Here's what I know. Honor. Your father and mother is pointing to what you actually honor and respect. I won't get into the culture of how we need to do this. I have never seen more kids that I don't even know who they are, and I want to choke slam them in the middle of a grocery store. Anybody else? I want to rear naked choke and go tap, tap. I hope you don't tap. I hope you don't tap. You know why? It's not just that. It started somewhere else. Somewhere somebody's parents started disrespecting teachers. There was a time when teachers were so respected. Why? Because of who they are. But you're the wrong one, teacher. My kids are right. I should have got a couple amens. I'm just saying. Nobody respects doctors anymore. Why? Because, can I tell you something? Honor is different than trust and respect. Honor can be given. Trust and respect is earned. David, when Saul was trying to King Saul was trying to kill him, and he honored not who he was because he deserved it. He didn't deserve it. He honored the position. Why? Because I honor God. Honor your father and mother. Thou shalt not murder. Exodus chapter 20, verse 13. Why? Because God's name brings life, not death. And Jesus later taught this, and he says, hatred and bitterness and contempt, it kills way earlier. It destroys long before violence ever takes place. You don't have to take someone's life out and kill them to devalue them. The seventh commandment, Exodus 20, verse 14, they shall not commit adultery. Sexual sin does not just break rules, it breaks covenant. This is the other part where you honor me and you honor your spouse and you honor your covenant. Why? Because you're honoring God. This has nothing to do about what your preferences are and what you like and what they didn't do. And I don't like that, but she does and he does. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You've not heard the Bible. I'm going to say the Bible again. He's holy. Treat him like he is. Yeah, but my spouse didn't. That's not what he said. He's holy. Treat him like he is. Your preferences have nothing to do with the commandment that God gave. You shall not steal. Exodus 20, verse 15. Don't take what's not yours. Every time you do that, you believe that God's name can't provide for you. The ninth commandment, you shall not bear false witness. If God's name is truth and lies destroy that, Satan is the author of lies, then what you're doing is you're trying to destroy his name and the truth of who he is every time you lie. And the last one, the 10th commandment, you shall not covet. Luke's going to come around in a second. In just a second, I'm going to have you stand. But this last one, Exodus 20, verse 17, covet, if I had to describe it like this, covet is craving something that you don't have. It's believing that God can't provide. And when that happens, you create comparison and discontent. Look at me. People skip over this covet part. Do you know how many people they say they love God, they serve God, and his name is holy, and they live their life in a regret believing that they don't have something when God gave them the greatest gift they need in some areas of their life, but they can't see it. Why? Because they are blind with discontent. They are blind with comparison. That's the job of the enemy. Okay, we're going to close. How many of y'all have kept all 10 of these? Anybody? We're good? No one has kept these. And by the way, that's intentional. These commandments don't show us how to live. It shows us how we need God to live. Your name couldn't save you. Your name couldn't free you. Your name couldn't fix you. It is the Lord God. It's his name. From Genesis to Jesus, it's been about his name. In just a second, I'm going to ask everybody in this room, and I'm going to do it intentionally because I've been trying to push you to move, that if you believe God and you believe in his name and the truth of who he is, in just a second, I'm going to ask you to stand. And I need to tell everybody something. Standing is completely different than submitting. There's too many Christians that stand and go, I believe, but they've not submitted their life in belief. You can stand and say you believe. By the way, so does Satan and the enemy. James says, Satan believes, congratulations. You're about at the level of a demonic demon. When you go, I believe. The word believe, the word is pisteuo. Last year, I said it so many times, I don't know how many times I said it. I taught, believe. Why? Because God said, the work for you to do is not the 10 commandments. What did Jesus say? Now the work for you to do is to what? Believe. The word pisteuo is to take a chair and see the chair and go, I believe that chair could hold me up. I believe the truth that would take the weight off my life. I'll shift the weight of my life into that chair. It'd be great, but I don't do it. But I believe that chair's there. The word, that is a believing, that's a head knowledge. You believe in the chair and you believe it can hold you up. That's a head knowledge. Pisteuo, that Jesus called us to. Do you believe in the name of Jesus? Do you believe that in this name, this is now how we live? Because there's way more than 10 commandments. If you believe, then shift the weight of your life. And we started with this. How many of you feel like you're trying to do this alone, carrying a weight? Trying to do this alone. Going, I feel like I'm going to break under the weight of this. That was never what God intended. He called you to know him and his name. And he goes, come here. I can't wait to show you who I am. In just a second, I want to ask you to stand. And that's different than submitting. Submitting is believing and shifting the weight of your life going. Submission is the most backwards thing this world's ever seen. UFC fights, you tap someone out, the person that tap out, they lose. This is an upside down kingdom. The manner of this woman that goes, I'm tired, I can't carry it alone. Exodus 17 and 18 revealed, I can't do it alone. I need community, I need you, and I need your way. I tap out. Do you know what submitting is? I submit to you. In submitting, you're dying to yourself. You're dying to your name and what your name likes and your preferences. Well, my marriage isn't, this ain't about you right now. This is about covenant, not convenience. We don't have much longer to live this out. I hope you don't hear another sermon on the 10 Commandments and go, I'm going to try to do better, try harder. Jesus did not die for do-betters and try-harders. He died for people to submit every area of their life going, I believe. I believe in your name. I believe that your name, my name has brought bondage. My name has brought brokenness. Before I ask everyone to stand, I want to invite, if someone in this room, you don't know Jesus Christ, you don't know him as your personal Lord and Savior, do not leave today without knowing the name of Jesus as your Lord and your Savior. So that when I ask you to stand, if that's you, I want you to come to these altars and I want you to give your heart to the Lord. If I ask you to stand and you go, I can't just stand, I want to bow, these altars are open for everybody in this room. But if you believe that God has called you out to call you in, this invitation to stand is not an invitation to stand to your feet. It's an invitation to move into his presence, to move into the truth of knowing God and the holiness of his name. In this invitation to stand, I'm inviting you to move into God more than you've ever moved in. If you respond now to this invitation to know God, I want you to stand. Stand this morning for anybody and everybody. If it's wanting you to move into just doing life as normal, but move into this, I want to spend the rest of my life with everything in my life making it about your name being great. Luke's going to sing a song. It ain't about the song. It's about you right now making a commitment. Anybody ever come down to the aisle at an altar and married someone? It's called cutting a covenant. I can't wait to teach that in the next walkthrough next year. But this cutting of a covenant, when you move into covenant, convenience doesn't matter anymore. What's convenient for you, what works good for your life? No, you've now made a covenant unto God. And in this moment, I invite you back to an altar. How many's broke a covenant? Everybody in this room. Everybody in this room has broke a covenant. And thank God we have Jesus, who goes, you've all broke the covenant. That's why I had to go and complete the covenant. But I still invite the broken. I still invite you. You've not been doing it well. You've not kept my name well. I invite you, come take my name. I'm wanting you to think like at an altar. What is a vow that you make? What is the vow you make right now? Not of the 10 Commandments. I'm going to keep the 10 Commandments. No, that I'm going to keep your name. Whatever that looks like for you, I want you to press into prayer. These altars are open for anybody. Father, please help us. Please help us to move from what we want convenient. That's called an idol. From a convenient God to a covenantal God. God, I'm sorry that we failed. We've not kept the 10 Commandments and we've not kept hardly any of the covenants. We've not kept it. I'm so sorry. We repent. And it's at that place you meet us. God, help. Help us again to make your name great. May we see the holiness of God and the awe of God, not just some commandments and list of rules. You can go ahead. May we see you and your name, and may we chase after it for the rest of our life till we breathe our last breath. Come on, church, press in. This wasn't about standing, it was about submitting. It's you and God, press in. Either where you are in these altars, take a few moments and press into his presence.